looky who it is. It's Forced Positivity. FP. The
Is that
person
really
who
how you want to
was...
start?
No, I don't. But this is, I guess it's gonna stay in.
Oh, it's staying in.
Uh, it's staying in.
It's staying in.
No. Chat's gonna be like, man, Green sounds so sick. And I'm gonna be like, yeah, I literally am sick, guys.
It's been a sick
Oh,
season. I got
man.
sick recently too, and it was bad.
Yeah, well, yeah, actually, we both get sick a lot. That is...
Well, it's not that I get sick a lot. It's just that when I do get sick, it's really bad. Like, I don't get like,
Yeah,
oh, I have a fever, and that's it. It's like, oh, I have a fever and a migraine, and like my left arm is shriveling up and dying into dust.
yeah.
Like, okay, I got like the
I
mega
mean,
sickness, and then after like a week, it's like, oh, I feel great.
yeah, I mean, for me personally, usually it's just all bad, but it's all frequent and bad. And you know this because I complain about being sick a lot,
I know.
which is fun. Yes,
But yeah, we're here
totally
to
fun.
we're here to
Talk
do
about being
something.
sick. No, we're
Yeah,
here.
we're,
We're here
we're
to
here to
talk. We're here to...
talk about Helluva
Oh
Boss.
my gosh, it's...
Woo!
Yeah, we're gonna talk about
Episode 2 of the podcast 5 months after the first one.
well,
Woo!
I'm gonna unveil the curtain to the audience again. We did record this once before, and the power went out.
Yeah. Well, we've tried connecting to find a time to record this
Yeah.
multiple times, but either one or both of us have been busy. And then the one time we didn't have overlapping schedules and we actually were able to like record this, my power went out while I was recording my audio
Yep.
an hour in, and it was really disheartening because it was just my power flickering. So
Yep.
if I had been on a laptop, it would have been fine. So full disclosure, we're both on laptops now
Yeah.
to
My power my
make sure
power
that
went
that
out.
doesn't happen. And
My
yeah,
power
now that
went
we've
a little
recorded this again, your power just went out in the same
for
manner
like
my did. So like,
5 seconds. Yeah.
yeah, it's literally there's a curse going on with the podcast for some reason.
um.
Um,
I,
Send us
I,
your
I,
internet bills and your electric bills,
yeah.
or we'll send you
Uh,
hours actually, and then you can pay them.
yeah. Yeah. We don't want to pay yours. You should pay ours. Um. My
Yeah,
power and my power and my internet bill.
just to make
Getting
sure that
charged like...
everything's good.
Yeah, being charged like $100 a month for crappy internet. It's
Yeah, that doesn't even
awesome.
work.
Yeah, no, it's my favorite.
It's the
10 megabits per
best.
second
It's the
upload
best.
on 10 megabits per second upload on a good day, and then 0.02 megabits per second upload on a bad day. It's wonderful.
It's pretty great.
Some of my favorite stuff ever. It's wonderful.
Yeah. But
I
we're also not going to be talking about like nearly as many episodes as we did last time because that was a lot. We're taking it one step at a time. So,
Yeah.
taking it
Now we're
one
gonna
step at a
now we're
time.
gonna go to episode 4. Windows, shut up. We're gonna go to episode 4. They
Technical
won't even hear
difficulties.
that. They won't even hear that.
Yeah,
They
because
won't
you're just
hear
recording
this.
your audio. Smiley
Yeah,
face.
this they won't hear the 6 Windows notifications that went off at once for
6?
some reason. Yeah, they
The
all
hell are you
overlapped.
doing to your PC?
I don't
Or
know.
your laptop,
It's
yeah.
I'm afraid it's probably going to kill itself before long. But anyways, yes.
Yeah, the podcast is
So
cursed. It's breaking our
this
electronics,
podcast
apparently.
is really cursed. So we're talking about season 1,
Episode
episode
4!
4,
5 months
Cherubs.
later, let's go!
No, we're a
Woo! We
timely as
got there in
always,
the
right?
end!
It,
Episode
it's
2
it's
before
almost...
the new year!
Oh my gosh, they're gonna be like, "Are you
Woo!
gonna release it before the end of the year?"
Someone did message me.
Ow.
So full disclosure, someone did message me saying, "When's episode 2 of the podcast coming out?" And
Oh my gosh.
this was like a month or two ago.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
told them I'd upload the next episode before the end of the year. So,
Oh my
keep
gosh.
into my word, keep into my word.
Yeah,
Who
they
can say I
they
was
they
wrong?
wanted to just hear me, on your channel. They wanted to hear me,
Yeah.
TheGreenChkrta at twitch.tv/TheGreenChkrta.
Wow, nice little sub,
plug
nice
plug
slip in there. Nice, really just sliding
plug
it in there.
6 minutes in. Plug
Yeah,
6 minutes in. It's always good.
yeah. Are you gonna
Um,
tell them to follow and like and
yeah.
subscribe and
Follow,
donate
like,
and
subscribe,
become
throw bits
a
at me, all that other
subscriber?
stuff.
Do
Guys,
everything.
Twitch is matching bits. 500 bits and above. They give me like, I think it's like 20% bits or whatever of the thing at their
Well,
cost. So you should give me
to
your
get
money.
bits, you gotta go live. Mmm.
It's almost
Mmm.
like it's
If you
almost like
want
I
the bits, you need to be live.
it's almost like I my internet is my excuse right now, and also sickness. So
You know what you do? You know
yeah.
what you do? You turn
Power
on your
through.
stream and then you say, "Sorry guys, the video isn't working right now," and then also, "Sorry
Yeah.
guys, my mic isn't working right now," and it's just completely mute, silent, black screen,
For
so
like
people
an
can
hour
donate
and
you
a half.
bits.
For an hour and a half.
Sorry guys, technical difficulties, trying to fix it. And then you're also in like the
I
just
mean,
chatting category. It's just like,
oh my gosh. I mean, you haven't seen some of my streams. They've been pretty scuffed.
no, I caught one of them. I did catch one of them where you were.
Where it was me troubleshooting for the first 30 minutes of the
Yeah,
stream.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
pretty rough.
yeah. You guys should watch me troubleshoot live on twitch.tv
Yeah, my streams have been
slash the
pretty
Green Chkrta.
haphazard as well. Many
Yours,
technical difficulties.
yours at least you're doing them on YouTube,
Like, why would I do
which,
them on Twitch? Like,
yeah, that's true.
who out there?
I
Who's
think
on? Who got me on Twitch? Like,
that's
these
true.
people don't know. I don't even have a forced positivity like Twitch account.
You should do that before someone steals it.
No, I have it, but like,
You
it's
should
not
do that
set up
before.
at all. Like, all it is the username, and I
Yeah,
haven't like sent a single chat message with it. Like, I
that's
just
really
purely
funny.
have it because the name, like the branding. That's it. That's the only reason I have it.
Wow, you should just start streaming on Twitch.
I hate
Join me.
Twitch. Like, I don't want to
I
stream
hate
on
Twitch too.
Twitch.
I
I would
hate
rather
Twitch
stream
too.
on YouTube.
I make money on Twitch at least, I guess.
I make money
But
on
I hate
YouTube, okay? Fair's
I
fair.
wha-
If I want to make money on Twitch, I have to do this stupid fucking program or whatever that says,
affiliate,
"Hey, you
yeah.
can't stream on YouTube." And it's like,
No,
why
they
would I
changed
do
that.
that?
They changed that.
Did
Do
they
you not
really change
realize?
that?
Yeah, they did.
I hate Twitch even more
Look,
now.
look it up. Look it up right now.
I hate Twitch. Hmm.
We're not getting to this until you look and see that Twitch has changed.
Let me see. Let me
This
see
is
the
like
Twitch
our cold
affiliate
open.
program.
This is like our cold open.
What do you mean cold open? This is hot.
This is cold open. This is just like TV. They ramble on for the first like
Oh wow,
couple
yeah.
minutes.
No, they got rid of that line. Oh, maybe you're right.
You're a
Maybe I
silly
still
goose
hate
for
Twitch though.
not believing me.
Hey, look. Hey, look.
Keep hating Twitch. Keep hating Twitch.
About a week ago, if I went on Twitch, all I'm saying is it would be recommending me some stuff that's bannable content right now.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's true.
Now, if I was on the front lines, if my Twitch channel was there on the front lines, my ass would be on Twitch, okay? That's all I'm saying. I would have been, if I wanted to be on Twitch, I would have been there a week ago. I would have been streaming when it was the Wild Wild West. But you know what I did that
Uh,
day? I didn't stream at all because I was sick. Like,
yeah, you
I
know
was
what I
ill.
haven't done for the last 3 months? I haven't streamed because I've been sick and busy.
Exactly. Right on
Oh, that was
cue.
good call.
Right on cue.
Right on cue.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks, Tony, in the back. You're
Yeah.
you're doing well, Tony.
Welcome to the Super Sick Podcast.
Yeah, welcome to what if that's our branding? It's just super sick.
Yep.
The SSP.
The
Super
Consistently Sick Podcast. The
the
CSP.
CSP.
The Clip
It's almost
Studio
like Clip
Paint.
Studio Paint
Yeah.
podcast. Yeah, it's not even podcast, it's just Clip Studio Paint.
I mean, to be fair, last time we did a whole tangent about talking about, like, SpongeBob and
That
how
is
you never saw
true.
it. And then
I
that got the
still haven't.
that got the fucking video like claimed by some. There was I'm telling the
Not
story
even
right now. I don't care. I want the
okay,
people
do
to
it. Go for
fucking
it.
know. When I
Go for it.
uploaded the last episode of the podcast, I thought it'd be funny to put like a really low resolution clip of SpongeBob on screen. So if Green ever watched the podcast or even listened to it or anything, they would see the SpongeBob thing if they clicked back into the frame, and they could be like, ah ha ha, you watched SpongeBob. Hi, I got you.
Yeah.
Caught in 4K. Like, LOL. Oh my god, so funny. I got a clip from one of my favorite episodes, the Rock Bottom episode, where SpongeBob goes to Rock Bottom. Great episode. One of my
I don't know what
favorite.
rock bottom is.
It's a city. But it's like Bikini
Okay.
Bottom, and then there's Rock Bottom. Whoa. So
Whoa, is that
SpongeBob
supposed
goes
to
to
be a
Rock
joke?
Bottom, and there's a clip of him at the bus stop, and it's a really funny, iconic scene. Green's never seen it, still hasn't seen it, and I took a 144p upload of it on YouTube. I crushed it, shrunk it, changed the resolution of the like image, and flipped it. I did like everything I could. I put a filter on it, and the system picked it up because some motherfucker out there who's not even Viacom or UMG or any of these fucking companies, some random guy has taken a bunch of scenes from SpongeBob and is auto claiming anyone who uploads them not in 144p but in like 2p. So if you upload an OG like season 1 episode of SpongeBob, if you upload a clip of that and it's not destroyed beyond recognition, this motherfucker is going to claim your video, and he's going to do something worse than taking all the revenue. He's going to strike your fucking video in
Yep.
channel, which is what happened to my video. I got a strike
so,
from not
that was so
the
funny.
company.
It
And
was
so
so
I had to
unfortunate.
change it.
It was so unfortunate, but so funny to me.
The video
Because-
literally got blocked worldwide.
Yeah,
Like, no one could watch the video.
it was beautiful.
Like, and
It
then
was-
I come to DMs, I tell Green about this, and I'm like, hey Green, so you know how you said you haven't watched SpongeBob? Well, I put a clip of that, and now the fucking, and then I had to re-render the entire podcast because I'm doing the stupid one video every day challenge, whatever.
Yep.
That video uploaded at 11:58 p.m. like my time. It was like to the wire of the
Yep.
fixed for it was. Oh my god, I'm so annoyed at it still.
It's so funny that now I can point out that SpongeBob. I still haven't watched SpongeBob.
You
haven't
still
got
haven't
me,
watched SpongeBob.
and it became a pain point for yourself in an attempt to try and get me, and I think that's really funny.
No, yeah,
I
this
think that's
time I'm just gonna
beautiful.
put an image of a sponge on screen when we're talking about
You're
SpongeBob.
you're gonna
I'm not
you're
even
gonna
gonna
put
put. I'm not
image-
even gonna put SpongeBob
you're-
on screen. It's gonna be something completely
s-
different,
sponge.
like just
it's
just a
gonna be
sponge, just a
just
sponge.
MS
That's it.
Paint sponge, MS Paint sponge, and then you just point it and you just say or put
I'll
a
make
name tag
I'll
on it
make
and
the
say
thumbnail
Bob.
and I'll make the
It's
key
just-
art of
it's
this
just-
video. I'll do it in MS Paint. I'll make it a really
It's just
really
gonna
terrible
be-
sketch of us sitting
gonna
around like a
be-
campfire. It'll be
Yeah.
horrible. I'll draw it
Why
with
are
my
we gonna be sitting
non-dominant
around
hand.
a campfire? Why are we gonna be sitting around a
'Cause
campfire?
you haven't seen SpongeBob. You haven't sang the campfire song, the CAMPFIRESONG song. You don't even know this shit.
No.
Where are they teaching our kids in schools nowadays? Not
Calculus.
SpongeBob.
Calculus.
Yeah, but when are you ever gonna use that? What about like? I'm never gonna use cosine and tan, but I am gonna use Goofy Goober in my day-to-day life.
What? Yeah, I'm never gonna use triple integrals or line integrals.
I thought you were
or,
gonna say like any type of SpongeBob reference, but you can't even do that because like
no.
I'm never gonna live in a pineapple. I'm never gonna have a pet named Gary. I'm never gonna have a snail. Like,
Okay, Gary was a snail. I thought he was a rock for a bit.
Jesus, oh my god.
That is one thing I know about SpongeBob.
The funny thing is that's a joke in an episode where
Oh,
Patrick
God.
gets a pet snail, but it's a rock. Like, you don't even know you're referencing Peak.
That's
You don't even
unfortunate.
realize it. You don't even know.
I do know the Ocean Guy song.
You mean Ocean Man?
Whatever it is.
Do you know it? The song's not Ocean Guy, take me to the sky. It's Ocean Man, and take me to the land. Oh my god.
Now we're gonna get copyright struck.
Fucking eat one, bro. I swear, if they... I've dealt with some dumb
seconds.
shit on YouTube
No,
this year.
you haven't dealt with Disney copyright claiming you for 0.2 seconds of Frozen in the background of a YouTube live stream from 2017.
That's great. That's peak though. That's peak though.
That I still have that strike on my channel. I refuse to take it down. I
That's
refuse to take
beautiful.
down the video.
So should we actually start talking about cherubs
Uh,
now?
should we? We had to pad out that runtime, for the ad revenue, right?
This video is gonna get demonetized anyways. We already said
Get
SpongeBob too many
demonetized because
times.
you saying ocean
Look, I know
man.
I say bad, naughty swear words, and look, they hate me because I talk how I feel. They hate me because I think Cherubs is a great episode.
I didn't think it was that bad though.
That bad.
I thought it was. Remember, I have nitpicks with this episode,
Oh,
but
I
I
remember.
didn't.
I remember.
I didn't really dislike it.
Well, what didn't you like about episode 4 of season 1? Cherubs.
Well,
This is
I
a
mean,
setup.
yeah, this is a setup question. Yeah,
This is written
so
in my notes.
let me quickly check my notes. Hold on.
Yeah, let me
So,
go through my flashcards real quick.
yeah, I don't have any sticky notes to do the thing. I could tell by the sound it was a stack of sticky notes.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah? Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe my index cards are sticky notes. Because it's just
Hmm.
easier and more convenient for me.
Maybe I used to have sticky notes on my desk and I lost all of them.
Or you used all of them setting reminders. Ever think about that?
Um, nah, never would. I'm not that
Okay.
organized.
Never mind.
Anyways, okay, let's actually talk about enough meandering, right? This has been like a long meandering. Okay, so what I didn't really like, I thought that it was kind of jumpy in terms of like, and that's not necessarily a negative, but like it was kind of with the comedy, they just kind of shotgunned you with jokes this
Yeah.
episode.
It's very
I
fast
don't,
paced too, with the jokes where you wouldn't really
yeah.
get much time to sit with one joke before they sent like 3 more.
Yeah. And like it would constantly like flash really quickly through a lot of the jokes. That again, not necessarily like bad, but I'm more of a I guess metered setup and payoff person because I do think that like fun and quick punchy jokes can be like really effective, but if you do it too fast, you get into like viewer
Well,
fatigue.
it's because every joke was a fast paced one
Yeah.
that it was probably very, by the end of the episode, like you said, fatiguing. Whereas if there was like a few jokes, because the one thing I remember mentioning on the last episode that is lost media now,
Mm.
was I said the one really quick shot of like Blitz in the window, and like the explosion happens of like the cherubs coming down from heaven to save the old man, and then his like little finger puppet thing blows off, and it's like this really quick like 1 second shot of him being sad about it, and then right after that, he opens the door, falls over, like or goes through the window. They open the door, he falls over. Like there's just that joke, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one, and it's like, oh my god, like we're shotgunning these out real fast, guys. Like holy shrimp. And it's like in isolation, like I think the joke of Blitz crashing through the window, like falling on his face, is funny, and then the pan back to it is funny, and then like Moxie listing every type of weapon in his disposal for like how the old man could kill himself is funny. Like I think all these things are
Mhm.
really funny in isolation. It's just that they're all like so quickly back to back to back to back to back with each other that it's like it's hard to like feel like I have enough time to appreciate and laugh at the joke in some
Yeah.
cases.
It's kind of like, I guess the best way, it's like I described, kind of a shotgun approach, where it's
Yeah.
more just overwhelming quantity, and you're gonna have a couple holes that just can't be
Not
treated.
not every joke is equal for sure in this
Nope.
episode. But I do like the gag, the running gag of Moxie getting crushed by all the debris as
Yeah.
people break their way into the the
All the
building, the
walls.
headquarters.
Yeah. It's
Like
really funny.
I think the beginning and ending of this episode, in a weird way, are like really serendipitous. Like they go together so nicely, like the beginning paralleling the ending. And
Hmm.
I mean, we might as well mention it now. The in terms of like the overall plot of the episode, the gist of there being a rival faction to, because like they're in hell, so IMP do
Hmm.
hits on people on Earth. So the natural inversion of that, because when you're doing writing, you want to think of like, okay, what's like
The
when you're
foil.
creating like antagonists, you want to think of like something that's intentionally a contrast between your protagonists, right? So that way it's like really easy to draw parallels or differences where it's like, hey, if we have a hitman team in hell, what would the equivalent of like a team of members do in heaven? They'd probably go out of their way to like redeem people, to make them not kill other people, to like maybe save their souls. So having a greedy old businessman that one person contracts hell like IMP to do a hit on to kill him, and then having an angel faction that wants to just like save this old man, so he like donates all his money or does something good before he actually ends up dying. It's really funny because like that plot in and of itself is just so deep with so many things you can do with it. You can take that in so many
Hmm.
different directions. Just of like IMP clashing with the cherubs in terms of like heaven and hell going against each other thematically, because like obviously heaven and hell are always opposing each other. Like
Yeah.
the fact that it's like, oh, should this old man who's kind of a shitty person, should he not just kill himself? Because he's also suicidal as hell because of like the whole experiment that happened. Like there's a lot of stuff that's going on in this plot, and I think in terms of like delivering a satisfying episode, I think it wraps itself up pretty neatly in those like 15 minutes that the actual runtime of the episode is. And like I said, one of my biggest problems with the episode is the fact that like the age machine, they set it to old, and there's no reason they can't do the
Set
experiment
it back to
again
young.
and set it to young. It's like
Yeah.
once I realized that, even when I realized it like the first time watching the episode, I was like, oh well, the way the scene was shot, like maybe the machine like broke when they were doing it, right?
No, they just
No,
had an old
it it
switch.
didn't. It didn't. It was set to old. Like literally, the shot is, oh, but the machine was set to old, and it's like,
It
oh,
made
okay. Well, the one guy died, so he can't like fix it. But the other guy is still like, the other old man is still there. He's alive and he still has all of his money. In fact, he's even richer now because his business partner died, so he's 100%
yeah.
ownership of the company. So he can just use all of his money to make the machine make him young. And like obviously the plot of the episode would be completely different. So the only thing I would say is like very simple change, just have the machine explode while they're testing it, right?
Hmm.
Or like maybe what I thought would be an interesting thing is like in trying to escape the machine, he's like breaking something that ends up turning the machine off, but he ends up like damaging it beyond repair, and it ends up
Like,
like the other guy dies, but the old man that we follow in this episode, who's like still alive, he doesn't die. But his partner's the one who like breaks the machine, right? So then it's like, oh, he
yeah.
doesn't even know how to fix it, like just something like more simple, because it's like it's pretty glaring once you realize it's like they could have just switched it
Hmm.
back to young. There's
Well,
no reason they couldn't have.
with I would like to point this out as well. I think a more nuanced way of doing it, which would have been much, I guess, more interesting, would have taken like a little bit more thought, would be the machine initially starts turning them young, starts turning them too young. They panic, try and get out, and then it breaks and makes them old.
That would be funny too.
That because that would make them seem more competent as like,
Well,
you know,
yeah, because it's
ev-
actually turning them young.
yeah. Because, I mean, yeah, it's funny joke for like 2 minutes, right, or like 2 seconds. Like,
Well,
oh,
it's
they put
also
a
it's also the it's very clear. Sorry to like interrupt you, but it's like it's very clear they have this specific vision of old dying man, angels trying to save him, demons
Mhm.
trying to like kill him. You know what I mean? Like they have this pitch of that needs an old dying man who's in some kind of situation that he's upset about, right? So he's already like not happy, so that way he's not really too enthusiastic about seeing cherubs. You know what I mean? He doesn't really care to like
Yeah.
donate any of his money. He's really bitter. So they crafted the situation and they also wrote a joke about it, but the problem is like these characters are supposed to be like really smart, clever inventors who are like quadrillionaires or whatever, or trillionaires. Like
Yeah, they
they're
wanted to be the
they wanted to be the
first
first quadrillionaires or whatever. But it's
trillionaires,
like
I think.
it's so weird because it's like
Or no,
you're
fourth
taking
trillionaires.
because in terms of like and Helluva Boss I've noticed has done this a lot later. The more the show goes on, but there is such a willingness to like do something even if it doesn't make sense writing wise, specifically for a joke if the creators think it's funny. And that's
Hmm.
I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to that at all. If someone thinks that like a joke is funny, I don't have a problem with them like suggesting it. But it's like when you put that into the show, now it's like okay, so character wise, even as a joke, these characters have like fucked up their own machine when they're supposed to be super smart inventors and guys. Like that's their whole thing.
Yeah.
That's the one trait we learn about them, and it's immediately undermined. And it's not even like it was a factor outside their control. Like, oh, they go into the thing and then the lever falls back down to old, right? And they just don't notice it, which is
No,
like,
they just
oh,
had it set to old.
which implies that like the young variant would work, like that
Yeah.
they actually invented de-aging technology, which is crazy. We'll never see it
Yeah.
again in the show though, but like
No, we
crazy.
won't. Yeah. Um,
But
I also
overall,
wanted
I
to go.
like the jokes in this episode. I think they're funny.
No, I don't disagree with that. I was just kind of saying me as more of a setup and payoff
Yeah,
like
you like the
kind of
slower
person.
burn comedy a lot
Yeah.
more. You would much prefer a joke if it was like set up multiple times and then finally paid off in one big climactic way, as opposed to like 10 smaller, quicker jokes that are like just back to back to back.
Yeah. But not to say some of the quick jokes are actually really really stinking funny. But
There's a lot of
yeah,
jokes I
it's
really like from this episode.
yeah, it's it just if it makes it more of a gag, just quick gag versus I don't know, versus more thought out. And I mean they are thought out. I'd like to point that out, but like versus, kind of the higher intent. I'm trying to find a way to articulate this. Just like a specific intent that you can clearly see the writers have, and they've been like very clearly like thinking about the end result versus just haha gets Moxie gets told he's panicking and everybody screams at the beginning
Well,
screams
and
at him to
also,
not panic.
yeah, it's like also there's sometimes like that where it's like I don't know if this is the reaction these characters will be having.
Hmm.
Especially when it's like it's really weird because it's like they even say like, "Oh, it's a hell quake," and it's like there's earthquakes in hell. What? Are there
Yeah.
hurricanes in hell? Is there? And like even though it's like there's no such thing as a hell quake. Like they I don't know. It's like personally because of like things that come in the future. Because like also I guess we should reiterate this because I we haven't mentioned this episode and it has been a while. You are only someone who's seen like season one. You haven't seen anything from
Yeah.
season two. Um,
Haven't really bothered to watch
yeah.
season
So,
two.
well, yeah. I mean, we haven't done podcast episodes.
Yeah.
Honestly, haven't
We
had
haven't
to.
done. Yeah, yeah,
Now,
yeah.
me, I've watched the show multiple times. I'm all caught up. So
Oh yeah, because
it's
your
funny to say
YouTube
some future
channel is literally
things.
like your YouTube channel is
I'm a
literally
YouTuber. Whoa.
literally partially based off of this is like
Mostly.
80% of your identity, right?
That's how most
It's like
people found
80%.
me.
Yeah.
But no,
Um
it's really interesting because it's like some of the things I'm noticing in like earlier episodes, like some of the things I feel like the show has kind of overdosed on now, were kind of always there in season one. I'm realizing, but they were a lot more toned down, and
mhm.
so it's really weird to like kind of revisit season one and like see some of these things where it's like, oh, this thing was always there, like the like you said, kind of the barrages of comedy or the characters kind of acting out of character just for a joke, like specifically for a joke when it doesn't really make much sense for it to happen. But like in lighter hearted episodes, it's not really that big of a deal, right? Because it's like at the end of the day, it was just a joke. And if you laughed, you laughed. If you didn't, you didn't. The character's not like changed beyond recognition. It's just like, oh, I didn't expect Luna to like overreact about a hellquake like that.
Yeah,
Like I just didn't expect that. It's like, it's
and
whatever. It happens. But like
Yeah.
later episodes, it's not just for a joke, it's like the entire plot. And this character's acting wildly differently to like everything we know about them, and then it's not really given a reason. So,
Hmm.
but this episode's pretty. I mean, it's one of my favorites in the whole
I
show.
liked I liked it. I liked it actually a fair amount. Again, I me as somebody who likes writing and like nitpicks a lot, I have like very fresh eyes for like these specific things where I'm like that was an oversight or that just made it look a lot sillier.
Well,
Um
yeah.
but do you want to kind of backtrack it because we kind of went into the jokes but
Well,
we didn't
what
really
would you
talk
want to talk
about.
about specifically?
Oh, well, I just wanted to talk about Cherub as I guess the Cherub commercial as foils to IMP.
Yeah, I love the foil. I something early Helluva Boss did a lot that I really enjoy is the fact that like there's characters that seem like direct answers to really basic questions people would ask about the show, right? And so one of your first questions would be like, "Oh, well, there's hell." It's kind of implied in the show, but like, is there heaven? And obviously, with some of the things they say, it's very clear that there's a heaven. But like seeing it animated and seeing characters who are from heaven and like getting a tiny glimpse into it is like nice because it's like, okay, we're working by like universal rules of like there's a heaven and a hell, meaning that when someone dies, they could go to either heaven or hell. Good. That's a good thing to just like clarify to like the audience, right? Because
Hmm.
for a while, it's like, if you don't clarify it, eventually people are going to be like, we're like 30 episodes in and we've never seen heaven or had it mentioned. And then it could be like, maybe it's a reveal like there is no heaven and everyone goes to hell. That's kind of dark. But
You're only
I
going down there,
I
son.
really I really enjoy the fact that like cherubs, as I said, is like the IMP of heaven, and heaven like is so empty. We don't see like a single person up there, which implies that like there aren't any good people in like the Helluva Boss universe, which is really funny to think about
Yeah.
because it lends
Well,
a lot more credence to like why so many people would be doing business with IMP because there's so many sinners.
I think that also makes it uh I guess that makes it funnier as well in regards to gosh, the what was it? Was it the I don't remember if it was the pilot or episode. It's been a minute since I've watched. Pilot or episode 1 where they deal with the family.
Episode 1 was
Which
Murder
episode?
Family. Yeah.
Okay, episode 1 was Murder Family.
The
Yeah,
pilot was
because
where
like
they killed a random kid
oh
and
yeah, and
yeah,
then they
yeah.
tried to help the kid and then they and
Yeah,
then
then
they're
the
like, "Oh,
kid,
that was the target."
yeah,
And then they kill the kid again.
again.
Um, yeah. Okay. So with episode 1, I think that was also an interesting implication because like the person who makes IMP pull the hit like was shown to be a really good person
Yeah.
up until that breaking point. So that either literally like everybody is kind of sabotaging each other's chances for heaven or heaven has like such a high
Well, I was gonna say, I think
bar.
the other way to look at it is that heaven has such a high bar to entry, no one can get in. Because
Yeah.
you have one bad day of your. I think the first line of the entire show is like, you just have one. I was a good person, and then you just have one bad day, and you're down here with all the Hitlers and Epsteins of the world. And it's like, it's a funny line, but it's also a funny way of saying, like, yeah, everyone's just one bad day away from, like, going to hell. Now, you could
Yeah.
also argue that because one of her final actions was killing her husband, and then presumably like herself, her final action was a bad one. So she probably went to hell because of that. But maybe like, oh, well, if she repented and atoned for 20 years, would she have gone to heaven? Or would that action still be held against her and she would still go to hell, right? We don't know
We
much
don't.
about the process of people going to hell in Helluva Boss,
Yeah.
though. I dream for the episode that takes place on Earth and then someone dies and we see the process of them becoming a sinner in hell. I dream for the
Mhm.
day if they ever make an episode like that because it would add so much to the world building and lore. It clarifies so many things.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a hanging piece.
Well, it's not
Sometimes
like
I
a
kind of
gap. It's just it's like it'd be so
well,
nice to know for sure.
well, well, the reason I say it's a hanging piece is less of its okay. I vision hanging piece more as, I guess, a hanging fruit. It's slightly out of reach, but it could, like, it's obfuscated out of our view, but it could be there. But we don't get to know until they, like,
Until they
the
tell
camera
us.
shows that it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um.
I just hope that they would actually like depict it on screen and not like describe the process, because I would hate to get a tell don't show explanation of how it works for when they get like reincarnated in hell or heaven, or like, they die and they just go to hell or heaven. I would love to see the process, or just like see someone, like, even if it was just them on earth and then like smash cut to them being in hell immediately, and it's like, oh, it's instant. You know what I mean? Because it's like,
Yeah.
I feel like it'd just be so interesting to follow a character like that. But in this episode, we do get introduced to the cherubs through a commercial, like you were saying, and that's like the first
Mhm.
thing that the episode. Well, the episode opens with them flipping through TV channels and then Blitz shooting them, and then
With the flintlock.
the Wally's commercial comes on. You know,
Yes.
the
Well, yeah, that's
weirdly
good. That was
reoccurring background character Wally, which does actually play into the ending of the episode when he recruits
good
the two
foreshadowing.
inventors. No, I
I will
like
give
that.
them
I like
I will
that.
give them props.
I
It's
didn't
such a
expect that.
subtle it's such a subtle but like good, that was good payoff. I like that. That was good setup and payoff because it's like just a random background thing.
Well, and
You're like,
also
it won't
it's
matter.
it's also the fact that like it's Wally, who we've technically seen before in
Hmm.
episode 2 when he was selling like hot torches of hot pieces of fire at the carnival, or at Lululand. So it's like
Hmm.
him doing that, and then it's like, oh, there's that little scamp. He's doing a new business venture after burning down Lululand. Ah, look at him go. And then it's like, oh wait, he's actually getting business. Holy shit. Let's go. And he also
Yeah.
breaks in through the wall, contributing to the joke. I think that's why I like the ending of the episode so much, because like all the pieces that they've been building up come together in the ending, with the gag of Moxie like getting trampled when people break through the walls, Wally breaking through the wall himself, and then Luna reminding everyone we have a front door. Or Luna like and Blitz all reminding them that they have a front door. People don't need to come through the wall. And then Moxie's
Yeah.
gonna have to fix all that, and then Moxie's dying under the rubble.
Yeah.
It's
I also
great. It's
like
great.
I liked when Loopty came in after like the Wally whack. Gosh. Okay, I'm gonna say the full name because I haven't, the Wacky Wally Wackford's Wacky Idea Factory in quotation marks TM.
Yes, that is his business.
Gosh. After like that shows up, I loved the that title is a mouthful.
It's
Which
a
makes it
mouthful on
funnier that
purpose, yeah.
which makes it funnier that he's getting business. But also when Loopty Goopty like just comes through the wall, right?
Yeah.
Um and then it's like, could have used the door, and he's like, I'm eccentric, so I must do eccentric stuff.
I would never use the door.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting like how this episode actually plays out. And I do think that the episode adds a lot of character to the like, it adds a weird angle where it's like the morality of like, if IMP is contracted to do a hit on like let's say IMP was like contracted to do a hit on like a morally horrible person, like the old guy in this episode, right?
Yeah.
Is it really the angel's place to say that they shouldn't kill him, right? Like, it at the end of the day, are they making the world a better or worse place by killing this guy? It doesn't really fucking matter, because it's like this guy's kind of a piece of shit. Like,
Hmm.
if he dies, the child like labor that they're employing will probably stop. Now,
And the
does
random people
IMP?
experimentation.
Well, yeah, and then the poor people that they're experimenting on and whatever, like all the jokes they made about like how horrible they were. Like, if
Yeah.
all that, he'll die and then maybe it'll stop, maybe it won't. IMP don't care. They just want to get paid because like that's their job, right? But in terms of like how the angels view it, it's like, oh well, the angels want to like redeem him because it's like he's a sinner who could be turned to the light. But it's like it's really interesting because like IMP and the cherubs have this like this. They have this discussion about like who makes that decision over this guy's life, right? Like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because if if IMP were to get a hit on a good person, that person would go to heaven. So
Hmm.
would the cherubs intervene then? And like I don't remember if it's Millie or Moxie specifically who kind of calls this out, but like the cherubs are being really hypocritical when they're like, "You imps like can't interfere with this. Like you're toying with humans' lives," and it's like,
Yeah, but
well, they're doing
they're
that right now because like if this old guy just killed himself, he would never go to heaven. There's no chance of it. He would have just killed himself and then gone to hell immediately, and then like IMP would
Mhm.
have gotten paid anyways. Like,
Yeah. It's it's like a nice dichotomy between well, obviously the hypocritical aspects of literally Cherub. Like Cherub as a concept is just really I forget who said it. Um like but one of the cherubs basically said that they're going to save this crappy old man whether he likes it or not, right?
that's Cletus, the baby,
Pleaded.
the baby non-animal one. We're like, we're gonna
Yes, the,
save
the
this
actual
miserable old fart no matter what, like whether he deserves it or not.
yeah.
And then
Um
they're like, we're gonna kill him. We're just gonna
yeah,
kill him.
I was just, gosh, yeah, because it's Cletus, Keeney, and gosh, Colin?
Colin, wow, you
Colin.
actually remembered all of their names. That's crazy.
I don't actually have them written down, but I
No,
do
that is their
remember
names though.
them.
I only remember them because I only remember them because I'm too obsessed with this show. Okay, that's the real answer. I don't want to give the real answer. That's the real answer, but I don't want to give the real answer.
Yeah, because Cletus is obviously the baby. Keeney is like the yellowish kind of like
I don't know. I think
pudding
she's a
vanilla.
sheep, but
Yeah, it's like
it's
a
hard to tell.
vanilla pudding looking
Creature.
creature.
And
Yeah.
then Colin's the sheep.
Colin's the or not. Well, yeah, black
He's
with
like
white
blue black
wool.
with a white
Yeah.
outline. Like,
Yeah, and he has kind
yeah.
of like the weird what is it? Teal kind of shirt color.
All their designs are a little bit off, but I kind of like that because it's like it shows their imperfections. Because it's like you imagine angels as like perfect saints, and like they try to put up that image, but like they're just doing their job at the end of the day. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit about this old man, which is kind of like a nice twist where it's like they actually don't care. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? They don't care
they're
either.
callous. It's just a job.
Well, yeah, it is literally their job. They're doing what IMP does. So them having the same mindset of like, we don't care. We're contracted to like save this old man's life, and then it's like, well, we're contracted to kill him, and it's like,
Hmm.
yeah, yin and yang. Whoa, and that's what I think makes
Yeah.
the final confrontation like in the opera room, and also the opera sequence is like my favorite, one of my favorite scenes in the whole show, with like the opera singer. Uh, the singing going crazy as like all the fighting is happening in the entire opera room, and then one of my
Hmm.
favorite jokes in the entire show of like the old man realizing why he wants to live because the demons and the angels are fighting over his life.
For him.
He
Yeah.
should live because what's the point? You know what I mean? Like there's other creatures, ethereal beings that care about his life and have an interest in it,
Which validates his
which means that
existence.
he's valid. Yeah, right? It validates him being alive. Which is
Which is
like a
kind of
really optimistic way to end the episode in a weird way, even though he like gets
yeah.
killed anyways. Like it's a weirdly optimistic turn for the character that actually makes sense for him to come to a conclusion of. Like
Hmm.
because of especially how bitter he is about his circumstance, even though he could just make himself younger. But he doesn't remember that.
Yeah.
But
But
when he gets older, he gets dementia. I don't know.
yeah, I was gonna say maybe he just loses like 2,000 IQ when he when he gets old. I
Maybe,
don't know.
maybe. But as the episode draws to a close, one of my favorite jokes is when the piano gets launched up into the air after the old man realizes he wants to live, and he like crawls away from where the piano's gonna land, and then it just lands on him anyways, because
Yeah.
it like moves
Keep
its
choosing
trajectory.
piano.
It's great. It's
Yeah.
great. And
Um.
then also the one of my favorite jokes that other people probably realize is one of my favorite jokes is when the deer character from I think her name is literally just Deary. But like when
Mhm.
that character comes down from heaven and
From
denies the
heaven.
cherub's
Yeah.
entry because technically they're responsible for the murder of the old man. And like even though it was just Cletus who ended up killing the old man by shooting his bow on accident, like it's really funny that all of them are just barred out from heaven, which kind of adds to my theory of like the whole it doesn't matter, like you did one shitty thing, ergo you can't come back to heaven no matter what. Because like
Yeah.
presumably they've been doing this job of like saving people for like a while now to be like known enough to have a commercial. Unless I guess they did what Blitz would do and just like splurged on a commercial for no reason on a channel no one would watch. But in terms of like the episode, it's really funny to see the ending and see the cherubs who are like trying to do the moral and good thing of like saving this man's life get shut out of heaven completely because they were involved in like his murder and like the one mistake they make the whole episode and then the deer's just like no no she's just being such an asshole about it. It's so funny to me because it's like
Yeah.
when there's like a character that's just like unapologetically an asshole and it's like a lovable bitch, I guess is the way to put it, where it's like, oh, you. Of course you wouldn't let him back into heaven. Like, why would you?
Yeah.
And then all the other,
Um.
the other cherubs are like behind her too. It's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah,
It
they
was
want to
like the
watch.
bees and sheep, right? It
Yeah,
was bees
they
and
want to
sheep.
watch her deny them access into heaven, which is like really
And then they all
sadistic.
just leave.
Yeah, they all
It's
leave
just.
immediately back through the heavenly part. There's even like a little sound cue, like an like when they're
And then
leaving.
yeah, and then they just
It's
go.
great. It's great. No, it's
Um.
amazing. It's wonderful.
Yeah. I was gonna say one of the things I found really funny as well. One of my favorite jokes was just Blitz introducing himself to Loopty and being like,
The O
"My
is
name is
silent.
yeah, yeah, yeah. My name is Blitz. I'm Blitz. The O is silent." And then Loopty's like, "Watto," and then,
Yeah.
"Oh, thank you."
Yeah, I like you already.
And then
It's like the
yeah,
running gag of Blitz, but the O is silent, as
yeah.
one of my favorite running gags in the whole show. Pretty good,
I
pretty
think it's
good.
a very consistent like I think it's a very consistent one from what I can tell, which is really funny.
Well, I mean, even in like
And
things about around the show, it's his name is Blitz O with the O like crossed out. So like even though his name's Blitzo, like the O has like a slash through it, and like all the, as far as I could tell, like in a lot of like branding and merchandise and stuff. So like it's even an out of show thing as well. Like it's everywhere.
mhm.
They take it very seriously. Which, to be fair, it is kind of an integral thing about his character because that's his whole deal, past and
Yeah,
stuff. Blitz, but the O is silent. But
yeah.
I love this episode. I think that for me this is like the easiest episode to consistently rewatch just cuz even though like all the jokes bombarding you is really annoying, I I don't mind it because I think that more of the jokes hit than miss. The one thing I will say is this episode does fatigue you with montages. There's a lot of montages in
Yeah.
this episode and they don't need to be here cuz like you could just not have them and the episode like rolls the same way. Especially like the mall Santa joke is like they put a gnome noise,
Mhm.
like they put the gnome noise, like they you just got gnomed or whatever. I'm not a gnoblin, I'm not a gnome, and like it's very weird.
Yeah.
It's very clearly someone who was making the show was just like, I really like this joke, and then it just kept staying in because
It's
they were like
getting
defending it.
in.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
clearly like one specific person's humor, and everyone just went along with it, which makes me
Yeah.
think that like maybe Vivzy Pop really liked the joke, which is fair. I mean, if she likes the joke, it's her
Probably.
show. Like, what can I
Yeah.
do?
I mean, I mean, it was like it was a joke. I didn't.
Yeah.
I
It also is
I
weird because
find it more.
it makes the timeline seem weird because it's like, does this episode take place around Christmas then? Because there's a mall Santa,
Yeah.
but the last episode was like spring
Yeah.
break. So,
Which there's this huge time gap, right?
well,
That's implied,
unless they
or it's
put like,
Christmas in July.
yeah, I was gonna say unless it's like Christmas and that, because then fuck, what's it called? Not Harvest Moon, but like uh in oh my god, I'm blanking.
Which
Remember.
episode?
Well, I'm thinking I don't know if they say like specifically when, but there is a way to know what time of year Truth Seekers takes place in, but I'm forgetting what exactly the time of year is. But it's like it isn't after Christmas. You know what I mean? It would just make more sense if it was like in the summer or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It felt a little jarring as well because like they have multiple like outside. So like if it was taking place around Christmas, right? They have multiple outside scenes, right?
Well, yeah, the whole episode isn't themed like it's Christmas at all. So that's why I think it's
Yeah,
just Christmas in July or something weird. Like that would just make the most sense to me. But like that's getting overly anal about like timeline and stuff. And trust me, I love getting overly anal about the timeline and stuff. Like I
I don't think we have time for that right
no
now.
no 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 no. Because also that's future episodes and stuff is when that really starts to like come into
Yeah.
effect. Like because right now it doesn't matter when this episode really takes place because it's just but like at the end of the day, I think this episode is really rewatchable and really funny. And even when the episode's like not hitting or maybe like being too fast paced, I think overall it only annoys me a tiny bit. And by the time another joke has happened, I'm like okay with it again. Like I'll never get tired of the joke of like being like, love is a beautiful thing. Look at all these people finding true love.
Yeah.
And then Blitz takes the megaphone. All right, does anyone actually here want to fuck this old man? And then all the cars speed
And
off.
then everybody
Like
all
the
drives away really
speed,
quickly, and then he
the
frowns.
speed of that joke, and then the boo womp sound when he's like frowning. Like the speed of that joke adds
Yeah,
to it.
that was good.
That is a
That
joke
was
that I
that.
think is
Yeah, no, that
paced
one
as
was good.
great and acted as great as you can make it. It is
Yeah.
pretty good. I really like
It,
it, and I never get tired of that joke.
I think one that was a little more subtle, but I found really funny was like the tour bus. Just
Oh,
right when they're
yeah.
trying to see Lyle, right? And the crowd is just like, it just shows,
Well, not only
like,
they're
it's,
also
I
dressed
wonder,
in like really really goofy disguises this entire
yeah,
episode, which is
yeah,
great. I
yeah.
love that.
Doesn't doesn't Moxie also literally say like, "Gee, I wonder whose house this is," and then
Yeah.
it literally like right on timing. And to your right is the home of the famous inventor Lyle. I forget his last name.
Lyle Lipton, I think.
Is it Lipton? Okay,
It
like Lipton tea.
it might be. I don't remember. I don't remember their last name. I just remember Luke
You're
D.
probably right. I haven't been reading notes as much. I've been relying on memory. Let me check. Yep,
Uh-oh.
Lyle Lipton.
Let's go. Let's
Uh
go. He gets there. He finds that. No,
oh. Yeah. um I thought that was really funny. Also, when he compares them to "Am I being haunted by ugly, ugly orphan children?" I thought that was really funny
or no,
because that implies
the other part of
like,
like the tour bus driver being like, "Oh, that looks like there's gonna be assassins going up to the front door. Very interesting. You don't see that every day." Like making a comment
yeah,
about IMP like going up to the front door. Very cool.
yeah, it's like things like this could happen to famous people at any point
Yeah,
or
at
whatever.
any point. Wow. A humbling reminder. It's great. It's great. Like I think the comedy in
Yeah.
Helluva Boss is at its strongest in this episode, but also, arguably at its weakest. It's very very hit or very miss for me. But there's so
Hmm.
many jokes like you said shotgun joke that I don't really care. Like seeing a random
Yeah.
cutaway and then Moxie and Millie like in animal costumes and then animals tearing apart other animals and then Blitz doing like a fake shocked expression but being really smug because he knows that this is helping like the entire premise of
It's
the
fake,
episode.
yeah.
IMP could stop the episode by just shooting the guy in the head. There is nothing
But
stopping them from doing that when
it's a
they
cloud
walk up
game.
there after talking to them and being like, "Oh, you're going to try to save him? Okay. Okay. We're done. Let's go home, guys. Eminem, let's go home. Problem solved." But
Yeah.
because of like Blitz's ego and Moxie's like ego as well, they want to both be right about this. They want to prove that the cherubs are
Hmm.
wasting their time. So they literally waste their time. Which is
Yeah.
really funny. It's like a
Um.
character motivated reason for why they don't just immediately kill him. And also cuz they kind of want him to kill himself just because they want to do that cuz they're like fucked up and crazy like that cuz they're like demons and
Yeah.
stuff.
When he also kisses the picture of like the money bills,
Yeah.
where it's like,
It's a
I think it
stock
said like
image.
free stock. Yeah, it said free stock image or
It's
whatever
great. It's
on it,
great.
which which shows how stingy. Like he is like the epitome of Scrooge McDuck dialed to like 200, which I love.
That's great.
I'm a big fan of Scrooge McDuck as like a character, especially from DuckTales. So I kind of found Lyle as like literally just the insane egotistical like
Well, the
rich.
non-family version of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I found that so
He
funny.
would
Like
have he
that's,
would be the type to dive into his money vault and then swim through a bunch of gold coins. Like he would be that kind
yeah,
of
and
guy.
diamonds and gems. Yeah, he would. Um, but yeah, I also like I also like when he's watching them argue over him. He's like, "Why won't you let me die?"
Yeah. No, there's a lot of
He's like,
really
"Just let
funny
me
out of
die."
context like one-liners in this episode.
Yeah.
But it's overall I think that it is weird though cuz this episode is like feels in hindsight like now where we are in season 2, like this isn't like a major spoiler for anything in season 2, but it's like it feels like on reflect this is like the most disconnected episode from the series because nothing in it has really come back in any way so far in season 2, which isn't
Mhm.
too shocking, you know what I mean? Cuz like the cherubs ultimately aren't like throwaway characters, but they're a means to an end. They're not really given individual personalities so much as they are like a unit. Whereas IMP, there's Moxie and Blitz and Luna and like Millie, like they're all clearly distinct
Mhm.
entities and characters with dynamics amidst the crew.
Yeah.
Whereas like Colin's the scared one, Cletus is the leader, Keeney's the girl. Like
Keeney,
Keeney also has a
Keeney
temper,
is Keeney's Keeney's literally just Millie, but
but on
Cherub.
cherubs.
Yeah,
Well, and also
like
not in a
that.
relationship.
That is true.
Millie, but alone. I
Yeah,
mean, she
Millie
even ends up
Butler.
fighting Millie.
That
So,
is true. Yeah, sorry, I'm also still looking at my notes for like the some of the things that Lyle said. Specifically, I was coming back to the Christmas scene just because like he's
how
like
are you?
those sweet diseased ridden vermin.
Yeah,
Their joy comes from innocence, unspoiled by adulthood, and their
yeah,
middle class existence. Such a simple joy they have. It is inspiring.
yeah. No, there's a lot of just really funny one-liners. But it's interesting because like this episode on Reflect just feels so disconnected from everything, and it's like it's hard not to think about that with how like a lot of things so far in season 1 have like already. I mean, you could argue Murder Family is also pretty disconnected because it is a random family, but I would argue that that's like the start of the series, so it kind of needed to be generic to like set the status quo, like set all of our characters up and who they are and like their dynamics and who they are, you know? Introduce us to the characters, so it's fine that like the Murder Family haven't come back, you know? I don't think many people expect
Mhm.
them to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but
you know, I part of me hopes the cherubs come back one day, or even
I
fucking
want them to
Deary,
come back.
like anyone from heaven or anything. I mean,
Yeah,
in the future,
no.
I have mad headcanons about some of the characters in this episode for future episodes, because
I just
they're
can see.
well, I have this theory that like because there's a whole plot line about like weapons from heaven or like angel tipped weapons and stuff like
Mhm.
that, and I thought it would be the funniest thing if Deary was
Is
the
the one
one
supplying them.
supplying those weapons because
Yeah.
she's one of the only characters we know of in heaven. That's the only reason I have that theory, right? She's one of the only characters we know from heaven who can still
Mhm.
access heaven, right? So it would be mad funny if because she's such a shitty person, she can just like access hell or has a back door into hell and then just sells angel weaponry to people in hell and is like, yeah, no, this is
Yeah.
not enough.
Mm,
No, you're not getting this one.
you're gonna have to
No.
pay a little more.
The price just went up. That sale
You
ended a
need
year ago.
come back when you have a little more rubies. I couldn't even finish the joke.
Yeah, but no, like
Lamp oil,
that
ropes,
that would be one of
bombs.
my if that ever got proven to be the case, I would be so happy because it's like again, the theory is basically just because she's one of the only people in heaven we actually know the name of, right? So it's like it's easy
Mhm.
to just be like, "Ah, person from heaven, heaven weaponry." It could very easily just be a character we've never met, right? Which is probably what's going to end up being the case. Right? It's just going to be someone random, which would make sense because at the end of the day, you'd have to do a lot of justifications of like, why would this character do this? Do we like, would she be the type of person to do this? It's just fun headcanons, but they're real to me. God damn it! But I really enjoy the I don't know. I really enjoy what this episode like sets up, and I hope in the future one day like we get follow ups on any of these characters, like even the inventors, you know, and Wally, like their business. That business
Yeah.
is real.
I
Like that's in the
I need
show.
to see.
That's real. Like even if they were in the
I need to
background and it's like,
see.
oh, IMP, like we need to get like some new weaponry or we need to get some new devices, and then they go and visit the inventors. I'd be down for that for like a quick like joke, a quick gag, you know. I'd be down for that. We've got like so many characters in this show. We can like go back and meet some of them again.
I just need to see the logo for the
Oh no,
Wacky
the
Wally
logo, the
Whack Shirts
logo. It'd
Wacky
be
Idea Factory
What would be
TM.
really funny is if it comes back up again and they change the name to be like Lyle and Lyle's Wacky and Wally's. Like you know, they add all their names to it,
Lyle,
so it's
Lyle
even
and Loopty,
longer.
Lyle and Loopty, Lyle Loopty and Wally's Wacky,
It's like it's
Wacky,
way longer of
Wally's
a
Whack
name.
Shirts Wacky. Oh gosh,
I would love
that'd be a
that.
good joke.
I would love that because then it's just
Um,
adding. It's adding on to like how stupid it is already. It's great.
yeah, I
And like the sign has like an edit
a
to
few
it
other
to put
high.
a name at the top.
Make the sticky notes. Make the sticky
Yeah, yeah,
sticky
yeah.
notes. Um, I think two other highlights for me for in terms of jokes um were when Moxie and Blitz are talking about specifically like sending the news to Loopty being
Yeah.
like
How do we break the
we
news? Yeah.
failed. Yeah, and then he's like, "Don't worry, we're in good hands." Emojis.
Yeah.
No one gets mad at emojis. It's like you die, you fail. I
Yeah.
found that so funny because it's like a quick flash. You can barely read it. It's like
Oh no, something that Helluva Boss is now notorious for, especially in season 2. Whenever there's a phone on screen, you have to pause to read any of the messages. And there's always stuff on them worth reading, right? Arguably necessary for the plot sometimes to like see what's on those phones, but they never
yeah.
like hang on the shot long enough for you to actually read it until you like go back and pause the episode to specifically just read what's on the phone. And it's like, okay, just you do you feel okay? Okay, now you can play the episode. Oh, he's here.
I think
Like, I wish they would like hang
and
on those
also
shots like a tiny bit longer.
a little longer, yeah. Yeah, like I had to watch it like 4 times to get my notes on everything because like his contact name is like Lupus
Yeah.
in the
No, there's a ton of
in
there's
the
a
thing with it.
ton of background jokes in all of the episodes
Yeah.
that you have to like, and you know some of them you have to pause to like see them. Like every sign in the show has like a tiny Easter egg on it most of the time.
Yeah,
All
like
of
the
the like
lovers lookout sign that
Yeah,
I guess.
all of the background like things that you can read, like if there's a newspaper on screen, it has stuff written in it. It's not just like scribbles most of the
Mhm.
time. Like there's stuff there you can read that is also an in joke or something. Like even the one of my favorite ones is in episode 1. There's like a billboard that's an advertisement, but like it's made because Blitz. I said this on the last episode, but I don't care because it's funny. It's an
Yeah.
advertisement Blitz
You
paid
can say it.
for, but when he made the thing, he's like, okay, I want to have a sign that's massive, and I want you to say, go, like, if you need someone killed, buy IMP. You got that? I want it to say exactly that. Make sure this whole thing is on there. And the person hated them,
Yeah, and
so they
then
put
the
the
whole
whole text message on there. It's
thing is on
great.
there.
It's a
Yeah.
great background gag, and it's on screen long enough that you can actually, like, notice it. So it's like, it's a more popular one, and also it's an episode 1, so a lot of people see it. But like it's
Hmm.
pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I also found Loopty calling Luna a furry funny, and then finally like just how unfazed people were during the opera performance at people dying.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird. I don't want to say like inconsistency in the show, but like
I pointed out that I
it's.
would run last time we talked about this.
Well, no, no, no. Like I'm not even talking about that, but it's like it's really weird to know how much humans are aware of if hell like of the demons or not because it seems like there's so many people like angels and demons that fuck around on earth so much and every time there's an episode on earth something major happens, you know what I mean? Like even in just the
Hmm.
4 episodes we have so far, in episode 1 a family dies. In
Yep.
episode now to be fair the people like shot a bazooka in there and killed them whatever, so like that can be explained away. That can be explained away. No one saw the demons. But already by episode 3 there's a massive incident at the beach where a demon
Yep.
fish off of like hell booze fucking goes crazy mad with fucking powers and has to be killed by a demon. And this is
And
on an open
decapitated.
beach, and it's during
Yeah.
spring break. There's like hundreds of people there. Now, can I stretch my imagination to be like, okay, this is like their one free time? Sure. Because even in that episode, they're like, well, if we were to tell them exactly who did this, then there'd be punishment, there'd be problems. But like the humans on Earth must still like someone took a photo of it,
Be
whatever.
somewhat
So
aware,
there
right?
would be like
Yeah.
a thing about it where it's like, oh, did you hear about the beach massacre of 25? Or like, like some random name would be given to that event. It'd be like remembered. Not that I'm saying we need like this kind of world building in the show, but it's like by episode 4, and in that episode they call it like you need to wear disguises. You need to make sure you have disguises so you don't get caught. So it's like, okay, we're playing by like, you know, hitman rules, right? Where if you're in a
But
disguise,
then they
you're a different
don't.
person. But then in the ending scene, they're all not in disguises at all.
Yeah.
Like they're all fighting
It-
in no disguises, and you know, it happens. My theory was just that they killed everyone in the opera. That's why like no one. That's why it wasn't a problem, and that's mainly just
But
because like you see so many people in the opera die. Now, would
yeah.
likely realistically someone leave? Probably.
Yes.
Probably someone would leave. I mean, the piano
I
conductor
would be
doesn't
the one
die.
leaving.
The guy playing the piano doesn't
I
die in the scene
That's
miraculously.
true.
He actually lives, which I think is funnier. But like I can buy that scene because it's a much more closed example than the beach example. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Well,
if someone
like
were to run from that room when everyone's dying, their story would be demons came into the room and killed everyone. Okay, buddy, we're gonna take you to the psych ward. We're just gonna,
well,
go through a couple
I would like to
things.
I would like to point out that it was episode 6, I think, with Dorks,
Truth
right?
seekers, yeah.
Um,
There's a whole
yeah, Truth
organization about
Seekers
this.
with Dork. Nobody believes them, which I
Yeah,
have problems believing that nobody believes them unless humanity is that stupid. But they've been shown to be that
that's the
stupid
thing I
because
was gonna
literally, like,
say is I don't think there's a single intelligent human being in Helluva Boss like on Earth, because
yeah.
I
Well,
thought to myself I was like, can I name a single like human character in Helluva Boss that is like not stupid? And the only one I could think of would be the teacher from episode 1 before she gets sent to
but
hell.
she's now,
But she's in
yeah,
hell now, so she's not
yeah.
on Earth anymore. But like even in that example, it's like the person who is dead now. Like, you know, but she was
Mhm.
pretty quick to catch. She was a teacher. Yippee! But
Yeah.
it's so weird because it's like you would think that with the whole premise of the show kind of being like them not getting caught on Earth, which adds a lot of tension, right? It's funny how often
Mhm.
they are basically getting caught. Like you said with
Oh,
dorks, it's really weird that like there's an entire organization about this, which means that there's conspiracy theories about it. Which means that like there have been
yeah,
like theories and they have footage and video of them. That's clearly
yeah.
photoshopped. That's clearly edited.
Well, what makes
It's
it so
so
much
weird.
funnier is like as well, like to that end, right? They There's like clearly like an established like idea that the humans are inept,
Yeah,
especially with like with the beach episode where they're literally murdering these people in front of everybody
yeah,
as they're intoxicated.
very clearly murdered. But
Like,
yeah, the thing is like you could say like, oh, they're all drunk, which I would
yeah,
believe. I would be willing to like give the benefit of the doubt on that one.
to
I
some degree, I would
I would give
agree, but
benefit of the doubt on that one specifically, just because they're all drunk at spring break. Sure, most of the people shown in that episode are drunk. Like pretty much all of them.
mhm,
It's when the rampage scene happens where it's like, oh, all of a sudden they sobered up and are starting to run away. That's crazy. But like, the most developed human character we have is Lyle and Loopty, and they both died. So,
yeah. Well,
like,
all the developed characters
well,
die,
because that's why
so it's
we
like
know about them. They're in hell now. They're sinners.
exact exactly.
I mean,
Um,
it's pretty interesting, but I hope that like, oh, what's the word? It's like in episode 4, I don't really care. I'm not thinking about unless, and the reason I have such a problem with this is just because it's like in the future episodes start to call on the fact that it's like, hey, your shit that you're doing is getting noticed by people, right? So
mhm.
that should be like the alarm bells going off in your head of like, oh, people are catching on to what we're doing. Because like in episode, it feels like deliberate setup and payoff, right? Episode 3 sets up, hey, you need to wear disguises. So episode 4, they're wearing disguises. Whoa, that's like a nice little detail carrying
Yeah.
on from like the previous episode to the next one. And the disguises
Because
are like really fun. Like all the outfits are really like they're fun, they're silly. I love them. They're great. I really like the the like um the disguises they're wearing when they go to like the mall Santa and they're all dressed up like Christmas
hmm
creatures and like Moxie's like a reindeer or something. Like
hmm
all the outfits are really funny. And like the angels aren't dressing up at all because presumably they're playing by like different rules. Like maybe they can only be seen by the person they're visiting, even though they never like
Yeah.
explicitly say this.
Well, I assume they have
Uh,
disguise tech. Everybody has disguise tech apparently, except
except
for
for Blitz, Moxie, and Millie.
IMP. Yeah,
Well, no,
literally everybody
Luna
has
has
disguise.
disguises. Luna has
Oh,
disguises. Like somehow she's able to like put on a disguise, but and even oh
they
fuck,
just don't.
you haven't watched season 2 yet, but my theory originally was that there was an imp. Like imps can't use disguises. That was my original theory, right? Because it would make
Yeah,
sense,
because you
right?
mentioned that very clearly. You're like,
Yeah. Well, yeah, but then in a future episode, there's an imp who has a disguise. So, and it's like the same type of one
no
that like,
payoff.
well, it's the same type of disguise as like the one that like Luna and Stolas. I just spoiled something. Whoops. But like Luna and
Whoops.
other
You're
characters
fine.
have, where it's like they or what's her name, Verosica, right? Where they're able to like
Yeah.
just appear very human. Like their entire features change to match what humans would be. Because like Luna, obviously, when she's in her human disguise, we talked about this last time. It's like her tail is gone. Does that mask like still
Mhm.
exist? Well, it's like no, because when she's pressed up against the, I know it's a weird thing to talk about, but it's like when she's against the brick wall or whatever in the alleyway, like it doesn't seem like she's fighting the weight of her tail. It's like she's actually magically altered herself, right? She's a
Mhm.
fundamentally like different being in that moment. Which makes sense. She's using magic, right? So you can suspend your disbelief. But it's like, why can't the imps? Why can't IMP do that? Why can't like Moxie and Million Blitz do that? Is it lack of trying?
Because they hate everybody.
Well, I'm sure
Because there's no
Moxie of
payoff.
all people would learn how to do it if it was a teachable thing.
hmm
Blitz, I can totally see being like, ah, fuck that, and Millie would learn it too, because like it'd be something like both of them would learn it, because Millie wants to be like a better assassin, better killer, better fighter for like IMP and stuff. So like it makes sense that Blitz would be like the one person who doesn't have it, but it's like if Luna's able to do it, it's like why the fuck of all the characters is it Luna? Is it because she uses the book? Is it a spell in the book? Can Moxie look at the book? I
I
don't know.
don't know.
I don't know. It's not
Um,
explained. So maybe it will be in the
I
future
mean,
though.
hopefully, otherwise it's gonna just seem like a giant loophole
Oh,
that's just
just you wait.
don't. Are people gonna start acting out of character? Well, actually, I already know a little bit about characters acting out of.
You watch my YouTube videos, so.
Yeah, so that's why I got a little spoiled. Usually, I've tried not to watch like
Well, also,
the
I it's hard not to like spoil some things because it's like they're just on my mind. Because it's like, especially with season one. Also, this kind of just become a tangent about us talking about like season one, but like
That's fine.
in general, with how the series has unfolded, kind of, it is weird to look back. Like I said, like 30 minutes ago or something. The stuff I have a problem with in season two was kind of always there, but it was a lot lesser in those earlier
It was a
seasons
lot less
and
pronounced.
episodes. Because like it would kind of be the difference between me saying like, "Oh yeah, this episode was great," but I kind of had a problem with like this thing specifically. Whereas
hmm
the inverse of that is like, I didn't like this episode because of this thing, but it had great moments in it. Where it's like suddenly the order of things has flipped. Where it's like I have such a big problem with these things because it's like fundamentally breaking the episode. Like at the end of the day, the old to young thing, I understand why they did that from a writing perspective, and they just oversighted it, and it's a really easily like explained away thing. You change like one thing, and the episode still functions fine, right? The episode still makes total sense, But
hmm
then it's like you're doing script rewrites and stuff like that. But in future episodes, there's some episodes where I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I don't even know why you did this. I don't even understand the
That's not
intent.
good.
Well, that's
That's
my
not
bias. That's my
good.
bias about like some of the future episodes. But like for the
Oh
most
boy.
part in season one, I really like season one. I like it a lot, and even some parts of season
Well,
two I really like.
You
So
know
it's
what they
like
say.
finding the good, you know?
You know what they say.
Forcing the
Once you hit peak,
positivity.
once you hit peak, it's only downhill from here.
Well, in my opinion, we haven't even hit peak in terms of season
we
one.
haven't hit. We haven't hit
In terms of
peak.
like
Yeah.
talking about season one, we're only on episode
Oh,
4.
well, well, no, no. I'm not saying episode 4 is peak. I'm just saying in terms of season 1 as I've heard you've ranted many times about season 1 being better than
I've
season
ranted
2.
about season 1, season 2.
Oh my
What?
gosh.
Where could people
It's almost
find
like
that? No.
this YouTube channel like did that. But
Forced positivity.
yeah,
No,
over
I'm fundamentally puzzled. You got the wrong guy here. You got the wrong guy.
flippantly perplexed.
Flippantly perplexed. Fumbling
Yeah.
posthumously. Or posthumously.
Posthumously, there you go.
It's a crazy word.
Flailing potato.
Flailing potato, okay.
But yeah, that was basically I think I've said basically everything I wanted to say about cherubs.
I do have one more question for you about the episode then.
Yes.
My one more question for you would be, if you were to, in this moment, like, in terms of like season 1 of Helluva Boss, like episodes 1, 2, and 3 and 4, overall, if this wasn't for like a
Okay.
podcast or anything, would you recommend the show to a friend?
Um.
Like if they asked you like, hey,
Okay.
like I've heard about this Helluva Boss show, like is it any good? Should I watch it?
If I knew that their humor aligned with it, sure. But I know people who are even more fragile than I am. And I am we've mentioned I am
You
a very
don't
sheltered person
you
when it
don't
comes
like
to
you
television.
don't like when SpongeBob says fucking penis.
I'm a very sheltered person when it comes to this stuff. So this was actually outside of my comfort zone.
That's why you're
I
the
will I
perfect
will admit.
person to get on the podcast, because you're not someone who fundamentally agrees with everything I say. There's like differences. Woo!
Yeah.
I'm
Also,
IMP and you're cherubs.
you're talking to somebody who wanted to have an English degree but then gave up and did engineering instead.
Nah, you mentioned that before, yeah.
So,
Someone
yeah,
who
that's fine.
also hasn't ever seen SpongeBob, someone who doesn't say bad words.
Yeah, I'm a great proponent
You're a great person to
for
show the Helluva Boss to. You're a great. I'm still
everybody's
amazed
gonna
you
be
agreed to do this podcast.
yeah,
Because
part of me is too.
when I asked you, I was like, "Are you sure?" Because like this show is, there's a reason
This
the
this show is gonna
if this blank
fundamentally
was written by Vivzy Pop memes like have so much swearing in it,
yeah.
like.
This show is gonna fundamentally change my my
No, it's not gonna
just
fundamentally
mental
change you.
state.
It's just gonna make you have opinions about it. I think if someone were to ask me if I mean fucking there are people I've gotten into this show, and it's kind of funny because like I show them the show and they're like this show's great. And then they keep watching and they're like I liked the show. And their opinion changes and
I
I'm like,
like the
"Are
show.
you going to keep watching it?" And they're like, "I'll keep watching it.
Nope.
Just you know, gonna put a little less investment in it." But like, there are obviously people who still really like the show and stuff, and part of why we're doing this
Well, yeah,
podcast
obviously.
incrementally is
Look at
because
look at your
I wanna
fan
document
base.
your journey through it.
You want to milk you want to milk my journey. I
No,
get
no,
no
no.
ads
I'm
every
just curious because like
No, I'm
most of the people I talk to
kidding.
about the show have already seen all of it, right? So they're talking about like the whole
Mhm.
show in the context of like where we are now, right? And if I were to able to like make content on the show as it was coming out, my opinions would have been very positive in season 1, and I would have been talking like very, very, very highly about the show. Like very, very much so. I would actually be saying it was probably one of my like favorite shows of all time, which is a crazy like big statement to make when a show's not even over yet, right? But it's interesting to like follow someone else going through the episodes when I know so much of it. You know what I mean? It's like showing a friend like a game you really like or like have played a lot. So it's like if they ever need clarification on anything, like I got you. That's where I dig deep. I
Mhm.
find Lyle's last name. I get there. No, I get there.
Well, obviously you can tell some of it I've been invested enough to remember some of the
No, you
names.
remember a lot more than I thought you would. Like I'm not to discredit your memory or anything, but it's like
Wow,
you
wow.
actually have like it shows me that you're invested in the show on some level because you actually remember you remember Wally just by me mentioning him. Like, because
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
even know who Wally was until I rewatched the show, and I was like, this guy appears in a lot of episodes for like no reason.
it's almost as if I have a pretty good memory, and also I
Or
barely
you're
paid. No,
using notes.
well, okay,
This
I didn't
podcast is
actually.
not an open note podcast. You need to do it all by memory.
Hey, I remembered a lot.
No, you
I'll have
did.
you know.
You did. You even
Some of those
remembered the
weren't on.
cherubs' names, which fucking that's crazy.
Really?
No, you did. Yeah, that's crazy to me that you remembered their names.
Why is that crazy? They were pretty integral to the plot
Well, no, but like their names
of
aren't
the
said that
episode.
much in the episode. That's why.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of always just
Well,
referred to as the cherubs or whatever. Like they're not really. Cletus's name is the only one people consistently remember. Cletus and Colin. No one remembers Keeney.
Keeney, really?
Her name is
Keeney's the
said.
one that
Her name is
stuck
said
out.
twice in the episode. I checked.
Keeney's the one that stuck out the most to me because it's such an interesting name versus like they're all C sounds or
Yeah, they're all.
like
Yeah.
because it's Colin, Cletus, and Keeney. So it's not that hard for me to memorize
Yeah, just
as
a small
someone
flex.
with
It's actually like super fucking easy.
it's
Actually, like everyone has a
it's
horrible
almost
fucking
like
memory. Everyone needs
it's
to like
almost
get
like
good.
I'm a Chikorita. Get good.
Yeah, so I mean, like in life, like if you just
Uh,
can't remember, that's like just on you, and like that's a skill
mm,
issue.
yeah, no.
You're dog shit. Stay low, elo.
Mm,
I'm inting you.
you you don't have
Deary
this
would be the
level of
type of person to like
potential.
lose a round in CS:GO and
Mm.
then run it down for the whole rest of the match, purposefully losing.
Yeah,
I'm
sandbag
gonna need an
entirely, and then be
op.
like,
I'm not dropping you an op. Yeah, no, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna peek mid. Oh, I died. Oh no.
mm,
Oh
I'm
no.
going banana.
I could watch an entire like shitty video of someone pretending to like just play a game as Deary, and it just is the worst fucking gameplay ever, and them just saying yeah, no the whole time. My humor's
That would
broken.
be really funny.
Dude, someone
That
made
would
a
be really
Heisenberg
funny.
edit of Colin in my server called Colinberg.
Wait, really?
Yeah, no, this is
Sh-
real. This is real
Show,
because I said it'd be
show
really
me the
funny if like
video.
Colin came back and he went on a Walter White arc, so he's just like hard as shit.
Show me.
You know what I mean? I can find it. Hold on, I'll put it on
I
screen
need
too
this.
since we're talking about it in the episode. I'll reminder, put this on screen. Colinberg edit that
Yeah.
my fucking Discord moderator made. Fucking
I need to see the edit. I need to see this.
uh hold on, let me see
This
if I
just
can.
in. Chikorita discovers to Discord.
Yeah,
Hey guys, welcome to my journey throughout Discord.
Colinberg.
As you all know, I'm an integral part of the ForcedPositivity Discord community. I've been there since basically the beginning. Biggest fan. I'm the number one. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna get flamed. They're gonna be like, I'm gonna get
Yes.
like pinged multiple times as people are watching this video. They're gonna be like, no, you're not the number one. Listen here, Bucko. I've been here since the beginning.
There are some there's some crazy
Mhm.
fucking dedicated people. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yes. But
Okay.
I have the honor of knowing you before you peaked and popularity. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna use that for clout. That's such a stupid thing. Oh, I knew him before he was cool.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay, here I got the screenshot finally. I had to look it up by like pin, but it's just a
The
tiny little
breaking
edit.
color.
That's all it is. There's like another one, but I'd have to ask Poe for it
That's
specifically
that's
because I
really
don't know where
that's
I'd find it.
really
It's dumb,
that's
it's stupid,
really
but it's really funny.
stupid. That's really funny. Oh man.
It's great. It's great
As
though.
someone who hasn't watched Breaking Bad, that makes it
Oh
even
my
better.
fucking god. Of course you haven't watched Breaking Bad! What have you
You think I'm a
watched?
juggy? You think I'm
If
a
I asked you for the
thuggy?
time, you would say I don't have a watch. Oh my god.
I wear a watch. I wear a watch 40% of the time.
Oh my god, dude. Come on,
So if
man.
you got
Come
me on that
on, man.
40% of
Come
the
on.
time. Hey,
I'm not
listen,
putting
my
Breaking
wrist
Bad footage on screen. It'll get me killed.
my, listen, listen. My wrist,
Ice
the
on my
skin just
wrists.
gets just the skin just gets destroyed when I wear like
What
watches.
what can
It's
I,
really
if I
sad.
may ask before we end this podcast episode, what show have
Yeah,
you watched that is like a popular thing without me having recommended it to you?
Pokemon, Pokemon,
I guess that's fair. Is there another show you've watched outside of Pokemon, The Green Chikorita
Digimon,
Gaming?
Digimon.
I'll take it. I'll take. Did you watch the
um,
original anime run or?
I did watch the
Let's
original one
go. I love the
with the
OG.
very high pitched kids' voices.
Oh, you watched the English dub?
Yeah, I watched the English dub, but then Toonami had it like on at night
Yeah,
with a
with the
sub
subs.
at like
The voices,
3 in
the
the
sub
morning.
voices are way better than the dub because the dub voices, all the voice
Yes.
actors and actresses are just going, "Oh my god, we've got to run! No, Kiriko, we gotta get
Agumon!
out of here! Agumon, go!" And then Agumon will be like, "Agumon!" It's just like such high pitched voices, and it's
Wait,
like,
wait.
oh my
Alright,
god.
Taichi!
Oh no, I forgot that was his. Oh god. Those voices are
Oh god.
so bad.
Next, after we go through all of HB, after that, what we're gonna go through the entirety of Digimon.
Oh my
Digimon Season 1.
god. I mean, I'll listen to the theme song any day. I'll go. You know what?
Dude,
I guess I owe it to you
gonna
because
get
I'm making you go through Helluva Boss.
no, no, we don't have to do Digimon. I have other. I have other. Do you know what would be really funny?
War.
Do Arthur.
The
All
show
24
Arthur?
or whatever. All 24 or whatever seasons of Arthur.
Fucking do Arthur? Hey, what a full time of it. Like, what the fuck?
Hey, I watched all of Arthur.
I mean, but that's so much art. There's so much
There's
Arthing.
there is
Like,
so much Arthur. We're not doing that.
I don't know.
Okay,
If you have
okay.
a series that's
Let's make an agreement on this
I'm not doing something
on this
that's like that fucking long.
on this on
Hell of a
this
Boss season
on this,
1 when you watched it was 7/8 episodes. Okay,
yes.
8 episodes.
Well, it was 7
I made you
when I
watch
watched
8 episodes basically. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so listen. Here's the unreasonable goal for the viewers out there. If we get to 10 million likes, we will
Yeah.
do season 1 of Arthur.
Yeah. Season 1
Not
of Arthur. Yeah. Call to
only
action
be
for the
all the
fans.
Arthur heads, all the Arthur heads be like
Oh yeah, the loving crossover of Helluva Boss fans and Arthur heads. If
an
you're a
Arthur
real
fan.
one, you know, Arthur Fist meme. Yeah,
Bro.
yeah, classic.
Um, yeah, yeah, but yeah, Pokemon, Digimon. I watched Beyblade.
Oh my god,
Bakugan.
I watched so much Beyblade when I was younger,
I would.
and
Oh my
I
god.
watched the series with Jinga as the protagonist,
Yeah, Jinga
and
Hagami.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was always so when I got older, I laughed so hard at his voice because when I was younger, I was like, yeah, Jinga's the coolest, like Jinga's awesome and stuff.
Coolest.
And then when I got
He
yeah, when
sounds
I
like he's
got older,
12.
I immediately realized I was like, go Pegasus! And it's like, did he always sound like this? And then
Yeah.
whenever like the Beyblade
Um,
starts taking my favorite aspect of that show is just whenever the Beyblade, the piece of fucking metal with like a spirit fighting inside of it, whatever, who fucking cares? When the piece
yeah.
of metal starts getting hurt, the Beyblader starts taking damage and they like fall and they like stumble back and they go like ah, and that's like the same
Yeah.
noise they make every
But
time with the same effect every time. And then they're like, no, I have to keep fighting. Like them standing up is gonna make their Beyblade fucking spin harder. Like,
Ryuga was so funny.
oh
Ryuga
yeah, the
was so
villain.
funny. Ryuga as a character, he's like, look at my
He
Beyblade.
turned
He has
into
such
like
like
a
that.
dragon in the final climax of the episode. Like
Yeah,
he
yeah.
fused
So
with
he
his
was like,
Beyblade.
yeah. Yeah, he has
I
such like a
never forgot
he has
that.
such like a crap eating grin as well, which makes it so much better. He just looks like he's like, look at my Beyblade.
No,
Put the
Ryuga,
image
you need
on
to come to the light.
the
Go, Pegasus! And then they have like their
yeah,
special
and then
moves. Fuck it, let's just do Beyblade next. Let's do fucking
but,
Beyblade. I'd love to
yeah,
do
let's do
Beyblade.
honestly, Beyblade would be really fun.
Well, because Beyblade's just
I'm
so
feeling this.
stupid. Because there's so much dumb shit
Dude,
in Beyblade, but
dude,
it's like, it's lovable
Benji,
stupid.
Benji as a character, where he just screams "bull" all the
Yeah.
time. Bull.
Yeah, no, there's
Oh,
a lot of
dude.
just crazy fucking arcs. And it's great. It's
Oh
great.
man.
Beyblade is like my, what's it called? My guilty pleasure show or whatever. I've
Yeah. No,
rewatched
Beyblade.
Beyblade.
I rewatched
Like
it
I
a couple
rewatched it
times.
once when I was older and I was laughing the whole fucking time. Like
It's so
it is
good
so
though.
funny. It's well animated too,
Yeah.
which is crazy. Like the production on it
Yeah.
is actually
No.
really good, but watching it dubbed, I can't take it seriously at all. Like actual serious scenes are just so much funnier. It's great.
Yeah. Another one I watched was Yu-Gi-Oh! XYZ or whatever. XC, like the one
The
where
one
they
where they
see
playing the
someone.
cards and shit.
It's Yu-Gi-Oh! Give me a second. Give me Zexal. Zexal. There we go.
Oh
Yu-Gi-Oh!
my
Zexal.
god, with the fucking like I was gonna say the kid
Astral
yeah, the
Fusion
yeah,
boy. Yes, that one.
theme of stars,
I
yeah.
didn't watch any of the other Yu-Gi-Oh!
So
I
you were
did
just
know about
completely
some.
fucking confused. So you didn't know
Yeah,
about
I was like,
Exodia.
yeah, I was like, the
You didn't know about
summoning
the
the
Egyptian god
forbidden one.
cards.
Yeah,
It's actually
or just the
crazy.
fact.
When I was younger, I was so obsessed with Yu-Gi-Oh, but only
It's
the
really
anime,
funny.
not the card game at all. So-
They
oh
made
my
a
god.
lot of money off of both, so I'm like,
Oh no, dude,
they
they
came
made
out
so
good.
much money off Yu-Gi-Oh. Like the card game, I remember going to school and people would be playing Yu-Gi-Oh in the like lunchroom, and I would just be like, "That's not what the
Yeah.
card does in the show. That's not what the card does at all." Wait, where's your
I use
XE summon? Where do you send your
I use
monster to
pot
the
of greed.
grave yard? I
I use
summon this
pot of
card in
greed.
attack mode and end my turn. I place a card face
Yeah.
down and end my turn. I just did an entire episode of Yu-Gi-Oh in 20 seconds.
Not even 20. That was like 10.
I did a whole episode of Yu-Gi-Oh in like less than 10 seconds because all of the episode would just be, what is that card he's got? Maybe it's a trap card. Maybe and I
Rainbow
love
Karibo,
I
I summon
I
you.
love shows where they just overanalyze
Oh,
shit, but like, oh my god, I don't need the fucking side characters chipping in on this shit, especially when they're not even talking. They're just thinking like, man, he's in a real tough spot here. I don't know if he's gonna be able to make it through this one. I need to top deck the perfect card. Shit!
believe in the heart of the cards.
Believe in the heart of the cards.
Um,
More like the heart of cheating.
yeah.
I'm gonna fucking shuffle the deck, bro. Hold on, give me a sec. What are you gonna do? Stop me? Come on, come through my fucking monster. Come to my side of the fucking battlefield and stop me from picking out the right card. I fucking dare you.
Kaiba. No,
No,
that's all I know
Kaiba,
from
I
the
will
original.
defend Kaiba with my life. Kaiba's a great character.
Kaiba.
We will
Kaiba is
not accept
funny.
Kaiba slander on this fucking podcast.
No. I like Kaiba. I think
He's
he's
the best
insane.
character in
I
the
love him.
entire show. He's amazing.
He's so funny because like he's literally just he only wants to duel like the Egyptian.
Well, he wants
the
all the Egyptian god
god.
cards, yeah. It's crazy. He's a
Then when
great
he rips up
character.
like the blue eyes white dragon at the beginning,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you, you blue eyes white dragon, and then he just rips it in half. I'm like,
All right,
wow.
we're completely off the rails now. We should probably
We
wrap it up.
well, you asked.
I did
We're not
ask.
wrapping it up
Yeah.
until I finish my tangents. Okay, I watched
God
Mr. Peabody
fucking
and
damn it.
Sherman. Watched the Pink Panther. Watched Mr. Bean.
These are some old shows.
These are all dating me. These are all dating me
are-
as a very
Were you around when like the
person.
dinosaurs were walking around, bro? Did you see the Big
Um,
Bang? Were you there?
I remember I remember watching a lot of. I did watch One Piece actually. When I
What?
was
Oh,
younger, and then Green.
I never watched SpongeBob,
Yeah,
but I
I
watched the
know.
Japanese equivalent.
I know. I watched One
Bro!
Piece. My cousins locked me into a room and forced me to watch it. So
Oh,
that's
so you
what's
didn't
the
watch One
explanation.
Piece. You were tortured into watching One Piece. How far did you
Yeah.
get?
I got pretty far. I think I got like. Well, this was a couple years ago, so I would have been like 200 something episodes in.
You got to Skypiea?
I think so.
What do you
I'll
mean
have
you
to ask.
think so, bro? How do you... What was the last arc? Did
I'll
you
have
know the character Crocodile?
I don't remember. That's the problem. I
Alabasta?
watched it.
Vivi?
I don't remember. I don't remember One
Do you
Piece.
know the main character's name in fucking One Piece?
I I do know One Piece.
Okay, do you know any of the other characters' name in One Piece?
I know Usopp.
Did you say Usopp? It's
Usopp.
Usopp. It's fine.
I
It's fine.
know.
We'll do One Piece next. It's fine. It's fine. It's
We'll
okay.
do One Piece next. Oh
Look,
man.
you basically
No,
haven't
what
seen the
makes it
show if you
funny?
can't
What
remember
makes
if you
it
fucking seen Alabasta or
what
not.
wait,
Oh my
what
god.
makes it funny? What makes it really funny is I remember being into it, and then I remember wiping my brain from it because like of just a bunch of stuff that happened around that time. So I bleached my eyes and brain with like, the 10-hour Nine Cat on loop. I would watch that for like hours in a day
You
just to
gave
like
yourself
bleach
a
and suppress
digital
trauma
lobotomy
memories.
and it caused you to forget
Yes,
One Piece.
One Piece. It was great.
Do you know how many people
That's how I
wish they
forget a
could
lot of
do that? And you just did it. People want to experience
probably
the
a
story
lot.
all over again for the first time. And you did it, not even intentionally trying
Yeah.
to black that part of your memory out.
Well, yeah, I lost like a year of memory off of that. It was bad. Um, but that's fine.
Hey, you can lose another year watching
I
all
blame.
1,200 episodes of One Piece, baby.
I don't want. I know there's so
You
many
don't want to
because it's
watch
like,
One
oh
Piece?
gosh,
But you seemed so excited about it when you were younger.
yeah, I'm gonna watch One Piece again.
You know there's actually
That's my
a live
goal.
action One Piece show now. That's
Yes,
way
the
shorter that we could
Netflix one.
watch.
I
Yeah.
watched a single episode of it and fell asleep. It was good though.
Oh my
I fell asleep.
Chat, this guy, I'm gonna fucking strangle him, when I get my fucking hands on you!
This shows that we're real good friends because you're gonna kill me.
Bro,
I
you
was not
every
coerced.
time
I'm
every
not in the
time
bit.
you talk about shit you've watched, you always say something that just makes me slack my jaw open in awe because I don't understand how like I'm an impatient person, right? So I watch
Okay,
stuff and I speed it up and sometimes I'll just stop watching. But like to fall asleep to something, I have to be like so exhausted, so tired that I wouldn't even put it on to begin with because I know I'd fall asleep through it.
well, the problem is
It's just
if I really vibe with
such a good
something,
lullaby.
I fall asleep.
I was just so
I fall asleep.
cozy.
When I start doing my homework, this is not a joke.
When he said
When I
I
start
want to be
doing
the
my homework,
pirate
I fall
king,
asleep.
yeah, when Luffy said
I
I'm gonna
fall
be the king
asleep.
of the pirates, and you were just like
I fell
me 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 me
asleep.
me me me
It's
me
just how
honk Snoop me me
I
me
was
me
like,
me
I
me.
don't need to know any of these characters in my life.
I'm sure when I wake up,
I
he's gonna
assure you,
be the pirate king. He'll do it. I believe in him.
my sister bullied me for a week.
You get bullied by a lot of people, specifically around shows you have or haven't watched or fell asleep during. I'm noticing a pattern here.
Hey, listen, I'll watch the Netflix series. Apparently, it's a very abridged version
The Netflix
of
series,
One
as
Piece.
someone who is not very knowledgeable on a lot of things One Piece, the Netflix series is a lot better than I fucking thought it'd be. And
Well, I was actually
it's
excited
made by
for it.
people who really like One Piece. And you can tell.
Yeah,
They
it's
even
not like
changed
Cowboy
some
Bebop,
things. Well, the people who worked on Cowboy Bebop, some of them really liked Cowboy Bebop. I just don't think they
but
understood it really.
yeah,
But
that
like
was rough.
this is made by a bunch of people who really really liked One Piece. And also the guy who made One Piece worked on it too. So,
Yeah,
that
Oda.
always helps. Yeah. So, you can
Oda
remember
worked
the
on it.
fucking author, the mangaka of One Piece, but you can't remember Usopp. Zoro, Nami, Sanji, any of these fucking names
See, I do
ringing a
my I
bell?
no, they do ring bells.
Oh,
You
you
see,
know,
I do
fucking
my homework.
Shanks. I don't
I
remember
I do
Shanks.
my. You see, chat. I do my homework. I just know who wrote it.
I'm gonna fucking make you do some
I love how you
extra
can't tell
credit.
who wrote it, and I'm like, yeah, I know who that. I
No,
know
I
who.
know who wrote it. I just didn't say their name because I didn't want to say it because it's just like, why would I say the name? It's like a meaningless name to throw out there. It's like,
To me, a meaningless name to throw out there
everyone
to
knows
me.
Oda. There's memes.
Oh,
The Goto, right? The Goat, fucking. Oh my god.
Man,
You
chat, this
stress
guy
me
is
out when you
going.
talk about shows because I feel like you watch them, but you
And then
don't
I
pay
forget.
attention. But you paid attention for Helluva Boss.
No, I actually do.
Please pay attention to Helluva
The problem is,
Boss.
the problem is, it's probably in there somewhere
You just gotta fish
because
it out.
I just gotta fish it out, and then I'll have to resurface traumatic memories.
Actually,
But
I
that
have a
would be
question
fun.
for you. I have a question for you. Do you
Yes.
know
Go.
what Luffy's like special devil fruit is called? Do you remember that?
If I didn't, I would feel bad. The gum fruit.
The Gumu Gumu no Mi or the Gum Gum fruit? Let's
Yeah.
go. You remember the main
Okay. I.
character's name and powers? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's
No, it would be
go.
really bad. Would be really bad if I made a reference to Hunter x Hunter. Say that it has the same properties as
Have you actually watched Hunter x
Spongebob.
Hunter?
I have. That is
Have
one
you
I
watched
actually
all of Hunter
watched.
x Hunter?
Yeah,
You got to the
I got
Chimera
to the
Ant arc?
Chimera Ant arc.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I watched it. I even saw it. I even saw Gon reunite with Jing.
Well, yeah, that's like one of the final episodes. Well,
On the
technically, it's
top.
the final
Well, yeah,
episode.
on the top of the world.
The
Well,
World
yeah, because they
Tree.
go on the top of the world tree, and then they're like, "Wow, there's stuff outside."
Did you
And
know that
everybody's
this
like, "Wow."
continent is actually small as shit gone? Gone? Fucking
Yeah,
stupid idiot kid. Yeah, there's a
yeah,
whole world out
and
there,
then
and you're not gonna see it because you need to read the manga.
and then Jing also is such a deadbeat that everybody is like,
Oh no,
everybody is like,
I
"You're a
love Hunter
deadbeat."
x Hunter's portrayal of Jing just being a fucking deadbeat father, and then everyone's like bullying the shit out of him for it. It's really funny, cause like yeah,
Because he's a piece of crap. He's a deadbeat father. Like, yeah. Ah, man. I need to rewatch Hunter x Hunter. But yes, I did watch all of Hunter x Hunter. Are you surprised? I did watch all of Naruto, and then I watched all of Naruto Shippuden.
oh my god, it's. But you don't
I know,
have
I said it
time.
wrong.
You don't have time to watch SpongeBob. Have you seen the SpongeBob
Yeah,
movie?
no. No.
Oh my god, dude, I'm gonna
Um
kill you.
I do know
I'm
that there was
gonna kill you.
one where they turned buff. I don't know what one that is.
Where they're
I'm
like
not
fighting in a
joking.
wrestling
That's all I
ring.
remember. Like they like turned super buff. Like the commercial like literally shows like he has like the blue like mask and like he turns like super buff.
Like
I don't
this.
know. He
Ah.
has like a blue like mask over his eyes.
Oh, are you talking about the other
Like
movie, Sponge Out of Water?
that
Like they're
might be it.
CGI, they're
That
animated
sound
in
that
3D?
that's probably it.
Hold on. Hold on. I'm cracking this code. Hold on. I'm deciphering this shit. It
I
looks like this, right?
Yes. They all turn buff for some
God,
reason.
you haven't even seen the
See, I
movie.
see you're talking to
I'm talking to someone who just hasn't lived. Like,
you're talking to a brick. Unfortunately, I'm just a
no, a
brick.
brick that's somehow
Another
fucking
brick
seen
in the
over a
wall.
hundred episodes of Hunter x Hunter and like 300 plus episodes of Naruto and 200 episodes of
Yeah.
One Piece. And if I asked you questions about half of those
No
things, you
sponge.
wouldn't remember anything.
Hey, I'd remember some of them.
Oh my god, bro. Oh
I do
my
actually
god.
remember. Oh gosh, we're gonna have to put up Hunter x Hunter spoilers because I'm gonna. I remember the. assa- the assassin. The assassin arc. where like, well, in Hunter x Hunter, where basically they're going to the like the black market to try and buy the thing for the gosh, it's the game for, because they're trying to buy the game in order to like go to the
Greed
get the
Island.
name of the stinging, yeah, Greed Island, there we go, because
No, I get there. It's okay. I get you
yeah,
there. Yeah, I get you there. Don't
yeah,
worry.
yeah, and then I remember the decapitation scene because I had nightmares about it for a month,
It's pretty graphic.
where like the two guards, it is actually pretty graphic, yeah,
It's
where the head
surprisingly
just rolls,
graphic.
yeah.
Yeah.
um I also remember just them trying to recruit Gon and Killua,
Yeah, okay.
which was
I'm
really
gonna I'm gonna call the podcast here because we're completely in La La
now we're
Land.
completely off topic. Yeah, they're gonna be like, why is there just a random tangent at the end about things I watched?
Tangent. This is a
Maybe
whole
maybe we should
section. Bro.
maybe as an interim between the next episode, we just record for like an hour about the things that I've watched and what I can remember and what I can't. Put massive
Dear,
spoiler warnings at the beginning.
dear goodness gracious me. But yeah, that's is there anything else you want to say before the true end of the episode? I'm ending the episode in the next like
Um
minute. Like I'm not going on another
yeah,
tangent. I'm not letting you.
we're ending. We're ending now. Oh
We're
man.
ending now.
If you guys enjoyed this content, please subscribe to Force Positivity FP, as well as me, TheGreenChkrta. You can find me at the links below. TheGreenChkrta Gaming on YouTube,
Bold of
which
you
I
to
daily
assume you're
upload
getting
on,
a link non
and Twitch,
SpongeBob watcher.
Twitch,
Bold of you to fucking assume.
twitch.tv/TheGreenChkrta. If you guys enjoy hearing me rant, please feel free to drop by, leave a like, follow, subscribe, throw bits at me, all that other stuff. Give me your Prime subs.
I'll
And I
give you a
hope you
Prime
guys
sub
have
if
an
you fucking
excellent
watch
day.
SpongeBob.
Yeah. Okay. I
Come
will
on,
consider
bro.
this.
Come on, dude. It's
You
fucking
have Prime?
SpongeBob,
Wait,
dude.
you have Prime?
I'll just give you a normal
You have
sub. I
Prime?
don't care. I'll give you a normal sub. I
Come
don't have
on.
Prime, but I'll just give you a normal sub. I'll get one of my friends to give you Prime. Like, bro, just fucking watch SpongeBob, dude. Come on. Oh my god, dude.
Anyways, as the people have spoken, I will not watch SpongeBob. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later. Do your outro now.
Bye.